everyone, my name is Kendra and this is my channel Small Town Seamstress. Today we're going to be going through photos of all of my projects I have done as a small business over the last year. I'm going to be honest, my first few while I was still discovering my workflow are quite rough. First was this fox plushie I made for my daughter's first birthday. I fell in love with the fabric at the fabric store. It is a soft purple minky with gold printing on top with beautiful constellations. These first few projects were my first time ever using applique, and because I didn't really know how, I used school glue instead of fusible web and no interfacing whatsoever. This is why there's a patch of dark blue over one of the ears. My machine had pulled the fabric inside when I was trying to applique the first year and ended up tearing a hole, so I fixed it as best I could with the blue fabric and used just regular printer paper as tearaway interfacing. Next, my mother-in-law had seen the first fox and had a baby shower coming up for a friend, so she asked if I could make something for her. So I made this bear. I altered the pattern to make a more bear-shaped head and ears and used a bumpy baby blue minky. I was actually kind of happy with how he came out, but my happiness did not last long. Then I made this penguin. He is made from solid black flannel with felt for the details. At this point, I was starting to get used to how to applique. It's made from a simplicity pattern that I only ended up making a few of, and you'll quickly see why. Then was my attempt at a goat. Needless to say, it turned out more like a cow. Just like the bear, it was an altered version of one of the patterns in that simplicity pack. The alterations just didn't turn out in real life like I had thought they would. I could spend the better part of 15 minutes roasting myself on this one, but I think I would rather forget that I ever made this. This was by far and away my biggest fail. So, good news, it gets better from here. This is when I discovered my love for Chloe Knight / So Desune's patterns, and I made her memory panda bear. I had a friend who I was going to gift a bear with a custom message embroidered onto it, so I learned from my previous failures and made one out of scrap material that I had on hand. It turned out well, but not perfect, so my daughter got it. And because of the personal nature of the bear, I won't be including pictures of the one that got gifted with a personalized message embroidered on it. Here's one that I made several months later as a get well soon gift for a little girl. Then I started experimenting with different fabrics and made the Sugar Glider, another pattern from Chloe Knight. It was made out of a stretchy jersey-like fabric, and I found that the smaller the plushie, the harder it is, at least with the machine that I use. And at this point, I did not have any sort of fancy tweezers or hemostats, so I struggled hard on this one. Soon after that, I got a local booth to sell my mock-ups and prototypes, as well as scrunchies, headbands, pot holders, things like that. In the shop, one of my best sellers for the year was Chloe Knight's Fox plushie. This is only one that I have made. I don't frequently take pictures of all the different foxes I have made, but I make them in all sorts of colors, including an Arctic fox. I also got my first commission from a non-family member around this time, so I actually took work in progress pics. A friend of my husband had a baby shower coming up and was planning on using a simplicity teddy bear pattern to make a lion, as the nursery theme was Narnia. This bear was much larger than anything I had made up to that point. Putting the body together was pretty simple and didn't take me very long, including drafting a long lion tail and adding a pink tummy. She had provided basically everything I needed, including the pattern, and the fabric she had chosen was corduroy and a couple of different types of velvet, one deep green and another pink. She had also given me a skein of yarn for the mane. The skein was 1 pound, and I used nearly all of it, and for every hour I spent at my sewing machine constructing the body, I spent 3 on my couch hand sewing the mane to the head. I learned so much from this one. First, velvet is worse than glitter. I deep cleaned my machine 3 times, and still little shiny pink hairs were showing up on my projects. Also, hand sewing yarn is very tedious. Then I made this manta ray for another baby shower. I'm not going to show every angle because the lettering on the back is the baby boy's initials. It's another Chloe Knight pattern. This one is made from some really soft and plush minky, and the white spots on the top are actually glow in the dark. And this was my first time trying to make ribbon tags, but I think they turned out really good. Then it was nearing Easter time, and this was going to be the first Easter that my daughter could mostly walk, and Chloe Knight's Zodiac Animal pattern had just come out, so I snagged it. Chloe's patterns are all very affordable, but in my opinion, the Zodiac pattern is the best deal of them all, because it is 14 in one. Then I made a goat for myself, so that I would have one that I could kind of experiment with. I had a few ideas for accessories that I could make for this line of plushies, and since they're all basically the same size, I could use the goat to make them for future projects. Kind of like a dress form. The goat had the most complex head shape, and hand and foot shape as well as having horns, so if it fits on this guy, it should fit on most any of the other Zodiac plushies. Another zodiac pattern I ended up making was this dog for a young woman's birthday. I added a collar and a bandana to the dog, which actually has a kitten collar clip on the back so it can be removed. The collar can also be made to not be removable. Funny story about that one. I thought my craft store or maybe an outdoorsy type store would have small enough clips, but they didn't, and I really needed one. So I looked online and I didn't think I would make very many more of these collars, so I bought one clip and it was like 75 cents, but the shipping was like $5. Worth it for her smile though. And in the future I bought them in bulk and didn't have to pay the ridiculous shipping. Then I got Chloe's butterfly pattern and made one for my booth. Then I made this one, which was donated to a fundraiser for the local special needs program. I didn't take any work in progress pics for this one either, but I had a ball with the photo shoot. So I had finished it and was just relaxing, and then the scent came out so beautifully. I knew I had to capitalize on it, because I had no idea where it was going to go, and I was just so proud of it that I knew I needed all of these photos for my portfolio. I had added a zippered pouch and a separate microwavable pouch made out of cotton and buckwheat. I don't know who ended up with it or how much it went for at auction. Back to the zodiac pattern, my sister raises goats, specifically La Manchas, which do not have ears or horns. You know, the things that make them very easily recognizable as goats. She wanted a plushie made of her prized goat, and this is what came out. I tried to make the head a more goat-like shape by hand sewing around the horn area, as that part of the goat is really bumpy. There were also some changes made to the original pattern, like making the legs able to be two colors and adding the belly color, and of course not adding the horns or ears. I had also made a couple of collars, one with a blue award ribbon that I apparently forgot to take pictures of. I also made this bobcat with a jersey, as our shop was having a welcome back sale for the local college. I couldn't get my hands on any printed fabric, so I tried my hand at freehand embroidery. This was my first ever attempt at it. This plush was based on the cat zodiac pattern with a few modifications, like adding applique to the back of the ears and some brushed out acrylic yarn to the tips of the ears, as well as shortening the tail. This plush also ended up being auctioned off for a different local charity. I also do not know how much for or who this ended up with. Shortly after I had initially made the bobcat, one of my Facebook followers, who was kind of family of family, wanted 3 made based off of the mascot of the other state college football team, the Grizz, for her kid and grandchildren, who are Grizz fans. She wanted them for Christmas gifts. Bless this woman, she came to me in September, more than enough time to complete them all. In the pics there's only 1 bear, but I made 3, they were just all identical. Each of the jerseys were a little bit different. Then Chloe put out her Jack and Sally pattern, and my dad knew exactly who needed them for Christmas. So he paid for materials, and I made them, and they were a very long process, but they turned out just so cute. The original pattern called for minky, but I used flannel, which made them slimmer, but I think it just made them look more like the movie, so the dress is a little bit baggy on Sally in my opinion. The family friend who ended up with them was just so stoked in the end. She said they were going to sit in a glass cabinet for the rest of her life, and I don't know why, but that was one of the best compliments I could have gotten. For the last project of the year, a customer approached me on my Facebook with this idea for a lion with a rainbow mane, made out of ribbons. It is the memory bear pattern again, believe it or not, but I altered the body to make it bigger and more resembling the shape of the Simplicity teddy bear pattern that I had done. I also changed the arms to make them horizontal and the legs a bit longer, as well as a long tail. He ended up arriving to her just before Christmas, and she sent me pics of him in this cute little Santa coat. I have no idea where the coat came from, if it's Build-A-Bear or if she made it or what. I didn't ask, but I love that she sent me the photo so much that I asked if I could use it on my socials. So there is my portfolio so far, and there will hopefully be many more to come this year. Next month I'm hoping will be an instruction video on how I make the shirts for the Zodiac plushies. If you like this content or you want to see what I continue to make, please feel free to subscribe, like this video, and check out the description for links to all of my socials where you can get in contact with me to order one of your own.